Welcome to the third episode of the Gothic Witches Kitchen. Today we will be making... What's that? I hear someone in distress. Let's go help them. Whoosh! Don't worry, I'll help you. Get it out. Push! Push! We're having a baby! Push! Oh! Oh! It's a baby! Such proud parents. But I'm a witch. And they're out of luck. Because today I'm making pumpkin bread. Baby. Today on the Gothic Witches Kitchen, we will be making pumpkin bread, which is one of my favorites because the batter is kind of squishy and gooey, and you know we like that. And it tastes like fall exploded in my mouth, and I like that too. That sounds a little creepy. Alright, let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take 4 eggs. Shit! One of those days, man. We're going to take 4 eggs and we're going to crack them into a bowl. Remember I said always put your eggs in something separate first to make sure that you don't get shells and to make sure that you don't have a bad egg, like an egg with blood in it or something, because that does happen. Not often, but it does happen. So let's get these 4 eggs cracked. So we've got our 4 eggs in here separately. Hopefully you can still see me. In here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to dump our pumpkin. That's 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin, and make sure that it's pureed pumpkin, not pumpkin pie mix. No. Don't use that stuff. That's not the right stuff. It's so good! Oh, it's so, look at it! Look at it! It's delightful, isn't it? And it doesn't want to come out of the can very well either, you little monster. You behave while I scrape out your guts! So we have our pumpkin in here, and so now we're going to add our eggs. Don't worry about putting them in one at a time or any of that mess, just dump them in there. This is a very wet, swampy. This is a very wet recipe. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to mix the pumpkin and the eggs and the oil, which is 2/3 of a cup. Make sure it's vegetable oil. And then we're also going to add our vanilla, which is 2 teaspoons. And then we're going to add 1 and 2, I need another 2, I need another third. So we're going to add 1 2/3 cup of sugar. One. 1/3. 2/3. I love counting. Can't you tell? Make sure when you get halfway through or when you think that you've mixed it together to take a spatula and scrape on the bottom, because I have noticed that eggs love to hang out and hide on the bottom. Like they'll partially break up and then part of them will just hang out, and that's not cool. Now we're going to add our dry ingredients. We're going to add 3 cups of all-purpose flour. If you use self-rising, leave out the baking soda, the baking powder, and the salt. But I prefer to use all-purpose. Shit. Oy. 2. Now, once I get 2 in there, I like to go ahead, move Frederick. I like to go ahead and put in my rising elements. So, we're going to put in I'm not going to do the full thing of salt. It says 1 teaspoon. I told you what happened last time about it, like, gathering in one area, so I take it and I just sprinkle it around to make sure that it doesn't concentrate in one area of the mix anymore, because that was bad. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. 2 teaspoons of baking soda. 1, 2. Sorry about that, Frederick. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon of cloves. I know cloves, some people don't like them. If you don't like them, just omit them. But to me, that's part of what gives it that pumpkin pie type flavor. And then I'm going to put the other cup of flour on top of that. Sift. Shake, 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 Sonora, shake your body time. Shake, 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 Sonora, shake it all the time. Or something like that. Bum bum ba 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 da da ba 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 da da ba 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 da da ba 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 ba. I feel like I'm in Beetlejuice. And then we're going to start, and I'm assuming you know how to stir. And don't overmix it. The more you mix, you're gonna make as soon as you start mixing, the glutens in the flours start working. And the more you mix it, the tougher it's going to get. And I think that that's one problem I've had with other people's breads in the past. I'm not saying, no, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that make a lot of good bread. When I say other people, I mean that you know, you go to the family reunion, you find stuff that you don't know what it is. Aunt so-and-so's great beard made it. And then somebody's always made some kind of bread and you can't get through it because it's so freaking tough. It's because it was overmixed. So I'm just making sure that I'm scraping the bottom, making sure there's no eggs hiding. Okay, now we're going to add our nuts. Now comes the fun part. We're going to chop some nuts. It makes me feel maniacal. Sometimes you've got to have a little fun in the kitchen, you know what I mean? Pour my pretties. Pour my pretties. Not on the counter. Pour. Look over them. Just like that. Watch them grind down to nothing. And now we empty their carcasses into the mix. I'm using walnuts. Use whatever nuts you prefer. Just going to fold that in. Don't stir it. Don't overmix that gluten. It's so pretty. It's gooey. It makes me so happy. Nuts. Okay, now the most important thing. You grease the bottoms of your pans. The bottoms only. Use vegetable shortening. Dip a paper towel, just grease the bottom. Leave that fall on the stove, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to make it a little extra sure it's got a little more in there. My pans are getting old, so I got to grease them really good. Okay, we're going to evenly divide this batter. Scrape the bowl clean. I cannot stand it when I watch Food Network and the people do not scrape the bowls. I'm like, I'm glad that you can afford to waste ingredients, but I cannot. And most people can't. Scrape that bowl. Get it as even as possible on the top. One hour. I set my timer on my phone. When you want your bread to be done, just click your heels together. And now it is time to pull our creation out of the oven. Gloves. It's beautiful! Not one, but two beauties! Take a toothpick, stick it in the middle, make sure it comes out clean. I know they will because an hour works. I'm going to leave the oven on. Okay, always put them on a cooling rack so that air can circulate underneath the loaves and help them cool off more evenly. And the reason why I do too, I know that the recipe you can use one large bread loaf pan, but I prefer the two smaller pans because baking is about friends. And when you make two, you can share. And I always share. Always share. Even witches have friends. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Gothic Witches Kitchen. Subscribe. Can you see me? Can you see my shit? Today, we're making pumpkin bread. I love it. It's like fall. And the freaking mailman comes. Thank you, monkey, for letting me know. Woohoo! This is, I swear, the klutziest episode I've ever done of this. What the crap is wrong with me today?